Record, stupid. Alright, I was about to start recording and I realized I didn't push record. So, alright, we talk about Final Destination 3, or 3, as we say. And, okay, rewatching this again. For some reason, this movie kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't hate it. And it's not the worst by far. We'll get to that. But it just made me think about the first two films. How they ended. And how this one ends in such a way that leaves no hope for these characters. And it kind of bugs me in that way. So let's discuss, shall we? So the story here is this one is probably the most personal one for me. I don't like roller coasters. I've had a big thing all my life with heights, and so roller coasters are a big no-no for me. And so when I saw the trailer for this when it originally came out, it was going to be roller coaster. I'm like, nope. I'm done. Nope. But my grandma got the DVD. I watched it. And yeah, it's actually a pretty fun movie. I think it's a fun movie. Especially when it is one of your fears. And you're constantly being like, you know? Like when they start going up there and they go the thing. Me... Because, if you have that fear, it affects you. It gets you, And so, yeah, it's an effective movie for me. At least it was. I still don't like Ferris wheels, roller coasters, but beyond. But this doesn't affect me like it used to. So yeah, it's a roller coaster accident. They wanted to go back to the high school teens after the second one was a bunch of adults. They want to go back to the high school teen type thing. And then they're on a field trip. They're on this roller coaster. Wendy's our main character, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I hate it. I've seen many people in my videos say Winstead. How stupid do you have to be? It's written right here. You can read it. Winstead. If it was Winstead, it would be E-I or I-E or N-E. It's Winstead, okay? She's been in many things. Sky High, 10 Cloverfield Lane. She's a great actress. But my personal preference in this is, I forgot his name. Ryan Merriman. Growing up as, in the 90s, Ryan Merriman, he was the Disney Channel guy, Smart House, Lucky the Irish, Ring Man's Light. That was, he was there. So that was cool to see him in it. And Jesse Moss, he was in other things too. He doesn't last long in this. And Alex Johnson, who was also on the Disney Channel, which is a kind of connection I got there. She was Annie in the third season of So Weird. But yeah. So, let's talk about the deaths here. So, this is the same director and writer from the first one. And for me, though, it didn't feel like it. Because the first film was a very grounded film. It had kills, but they weren't too over the top. And there was no nudity. Here, like, the second one had some nudity, when the biker girl, dude, you see the titties? Just like, yeah. But here, I don't mind it. You have them burning alive, naked, in a tanning booth. Also, something that's always bugged me, one of the girls in there has a tongue ring. You can't wear a tongue ring in a tanning bed, can you? Isn't that a no-no? I'm just saying, because when they're doing the roller coaster, you can clearly see one of them has a tongue ring. And I don't think you can wear a tongue ring in a tanning bed. It always bugs me. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I've never tanning bed. I don't want to get no, I'm not going to do that. So, it's not my cup of tea. I sunburn. I don't tan. I sunburn. That's the thing. Even if I wear suntan lotion, I sunburn. That's how it is. I burn. I got fair skin. I don't tan. I'm a tomato. But yeah. And so their death, it's a memorable death, mostly because of the titties. But yeah. Then you got Frankie Cheek's death, and his death is just so out of nowhere that it makes no sense to me. Watch it this time, I was like, wait, what? What? Really? Like, it's been established in the previous film that you cannot die until it is your turn to go. Yet, our two main characters are stuck in this drive-thru all because it's Frankie's time to die. And if they didn't move, they would have died. You can say, oh, but death wouldn't kill them off. The way it was setting up, something was going to happen. They were going to get squished or something. They would have been injured horribly at least. But I'm just saying, it kind of goes against the rules. And another thing is that Ian McKinley suggests to Wendy that the last person in the line should take the initiative to kill themselves. Well, if you pay attention to the second film, you can't do that because when you try to kill yourself and it's not your turn, it doesn't work. And I know these are different writers, but keep some continuity here. Tony Todd is also back, but he's not playing the Bloodworth. He's playing he's the voice of the roller coaster ride they're going on. He's also the voice on the train at the end of the film. But Frankie Cheeks, they're in this drive-through at a fast food restaurant that they had to build themselves. Actually, it wasn't one there. They decided they had to build one, and so this thing, we get the first. There is someone walking behind you. Turn around, look at me. But then you get the strip, push them against, so they can't move, right? And then this other truck is wildly coming from behind. The person behind them moves out of the way, so they're safe. And then this thing comes barreling through, and they have to break the windshield to get out. And as it hits, the thing goes over, the engine spins out, pops out, and hits Frankie Cheeks in the back of the head. By the way, in the DVD game I mentioned before, you have a chance to save him. That DVD game amounts to absolute butt kiss, by the way, in the grand scheme of things. Because the one thing that you can really change, other than you can not get on the ride, and it just tells the story of what happened to the 4 people that survived afterwards. But the one thing that really matters is that you save Frankie Cheeks' life. Only for him to get arrested, and then it asks you if it was worth saving him. And if you say yes, it just keeps repeating the scene over and over again, so you have to say no, so that he ultimately is still dead. So that really amounts to nothing in that game of yours. Other than you can also, if you hit a certain button, you can make it so the premonition that Wendy has at the end isn't a premonition and they just die. It's fun to mess around with, but that CD-ROM game thing just... That DVD game is just... It's not worth it, really. So anyway, yeah, and then one of the most confusing things about this is Wendy, okay, so the big hook with this one is that the pictures Wendy took while they were on their trip foretell the character's death. You have a roller coaster going into Jay's head. You have the 2 girls who die in the tanning bed. Their faces all red, stuff like that. Kevin's face is exposed like it was the fiber blew up in his face, stuff like that. But Wendy's is that she's just standing with Jay. She's got a McKinley shirt. Now, from what I can gather from the internet, people have come to think that this means that the McKinley sign that falls on Ian was supposed to hit her. But he got in the way, he stopped them from moving, so it intervened. And went back around to him. Makes sense. I mean, if it was about to fall and she wasn't there, his turn, it stops that from happening. It's his turn next. He's dead. So, yeah, and originally it was supposed to end there, but then they added on. I wish they would just ended it because they added on this other thing. Months later, Wendy's on her way back home for Thanksgiving, and she's on a train with her two new friends, where she bumps into her sister, and then Kevin, and then has another vision of them about to die in a horrible train wreck. And it turns out to be a vision, but fuck all that does, because it doesn't stop the train from still having a wreck, and they end up dead anyway. And this is what I mean. Alright? At least with the first two, you got a sense that there were survivors, and they could have survived. You know, whether we find out in the second film that Alex didn't survive and then Clear dies in that film, or whether we find out on a DVD game of all places that Kimberly and Burke are actually dead because of a wood chipper incident. You know, you don't really need to say definitively, oh, they're dead. But they do anyway, and they're pretty much dead here. So yeah, that's one thing that kind of bugs me about this, is that from this point on, there is no, oh, they survived and they got through this and they could have a good life. No. Every film, spoiler alert, ends with their main characters dying at the end. Because you can't escape death. Well, give us a little hope, people. Come on. I'm just saying. But, yeah, this one is not too bad. Texas Battle was the bitchin' name, by the way, is pretty good in this. See? I win! That's all I do! I love that kill. I love that. Probably my favorite kill in this one is the, see what I did? I win, baby! That's all I do! And then the waist just blow up his head. I love that. I shouldn't do my favorite kill in each one, but like I think Evan's kill in the second one with the ladder, that's my favorite in that one. Or no, Rory's kill with the just and just, you know, cuts him, slices him into chunks, I guess. And then the first one is you know, I don't know off the top of my head what one from the first one would be my favorite kill, to be honest. Billy Hitchcock with the, but yeah, this movie's pretty good. It's not bad. I'm going to give it a 7, which is a little bit lower than the last two. But yeah, it's just that kind of bugs me. How they don't give you a chance. They do state the continuity, though, because they do mention what happened in Mount Abraham with the first two. So yeah, and this is now in McKinley, as well as the fourth one will also be in McKinley, and then we go back to Mount Abraham, at least around that area, for the fifth one. So yeah, so what are your thoughts on Final Destination 3? Know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. I'll see you in the next one. I'm going!